Garrett's mother. What is this, Angry Parents' Day? Oh, all right, send her in. Mrs. Garrett, come in. I'm Seymour Kaufman. Make yourself comfortable. Now then, what can I do for you?
I hope I'm not interrupting coming here like this.
It's perfectly all right.
Well, I hate to make a nuisance of myself.
No, go right ahead.
My family, we've always been so close-knit. My husband's a doctor, and he's very busy, but he always had time for Grady. I promised myself I wasn't going to cry.
I'm glad you made that promise.
I never thought anything could come between them. But lately our home's turned into a battlefield, and they fight about everything. War, peace, hair, clothes, money. It's terrible.
Well, revolting against parents is normal adolescent behavior, Mrs. Garrett.
Every day you read about unhappy children running away from home. I'm frightened, Mr. Kaufman.
Well, would you like me to speak to Grady?
Oh, no, not to Grady. I want you to speak to the one who's responsible.
I don't understand.
To the person who's been putting all these crazy ideas in Grady's head. Mr. Kaufman, please, what does Mr. Dixon teach in that class?
What are we talking about? Isn't the law always just?
I read about this guy who was in jail 14 years and he was innocent.
I think I know him.
I still think it's changing for the better. Like in the olden times, you could get your hand cut off for just stealing a piece of bread.
Yeah, but even today, the laws are different for different people.
Can you back that statement up with some facts, Grady?
Sure. A lot more poor people who can't afford good lawyers go to the electric chair than rich guys.
Okay, let's say, for instance, that that is true, and that there are certain times the law is applied unjustly. What can we do about it?
Well, if you can't change the law, break it. Even if you have to pay the penalty. Like Henry Thoreau. He was against the war and slavery and ended up in jail because of it. And that was over 100 years ago.
Is that right, Mr. Dixon? A guy like that was alive in those days?
Right. Your history book is full of people who fought for what they believe was right.
Didn't Thoreau love nature? And wasn't he against poisoning water and destroying wildlife and all that?
That was then. Who cares about that stuff today?
You'd be surprised. I got an idea. Tomorrow, the city has planned to cut the trees down on my street. They've decided to widen it to help traffic. Now, what I want you to do is to read up on Mr. Thoreau, and tomorrow we'll discuss what he would have done if he were alive today and living on my street.
I know what he would have done.
Okay, Grady. We'll discuss it tomorrow.
I don't want to discuss it. I'm not going to medical school, and that's it.
He's not going to medical school. Did you hear that? He's not going to medical school.
On the subject of medical school, I met Louise Brophy today. Her brother's studying to be a nurse.
Why, may I ask, have you suddenly decided against going to medical school?
Can you imagine that? A boy wanting to be a nurse? Pickle beets, dear?
I'm talking, or rather, I'm trying to talk to our son.
Your father's trying to talk to you, dear.
Uh-huh.
Grady, I'm about to lose my temper.
Is that supposed to be something new?
Oh, dear, the chops are too well done again. I just can't get used to an electric range.
Grace, please. I want to ask Grady a few questions.
There's no reason to shout.
Your father didn't shout.
And if I want to shout, I will shout. I don't need his permission to shout in my own home. Now, why aren't you going to go to medical school?
Because I want to be a teacher.
I see, a teacher. Do you know what teachers earn?
Whatever it is, he earns it.
Grady, are you suggesting that a doctor doesn't earn his money?
You know, there's a lot more to life than making money. There's caring about the next guy.
And you think doctors don't care? Where do you get ideas like that anyway? What are you reading? Thoreau. That character went off and lived in the woods.
Mr. Dixon says it's men like Thoreau.
And I don't want to hear what Mr. Dixon has to say about it. I've heard enough of that Mr. Dixon in this household to last me a lifetime.
Yeah? Well, Mr. Dixon is one person who cares about what's really important. people. I can't. Oh, you.
Grady.
Charles.
Is that Dixon?
Oh, Paul, it's a great game yesterday.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon.
Pete,
Running right around.
do you have a class? Yes. I'll walk with you. What's wrong?
Why must something be wrong? Do I only speak to you when something is wrong?
All right. Something is wrong.
You have a Grady Garrett in your next class. What kind of a boy is he?
Oh, nice. Very bright. A little excited, but why?
Both his parents have spoken to me. They say he's a terror at home, that he suddenly hates his father, and that you are the cause of it.
Me?
Yes, they say what you teach in class has turned Grady against him.
Do you believe that?
No. Of course not. But I thought I'd better tell you about it because Dr. Garrett is threatening to make trouble for you with his friends on the school board.
Look, Mr. Kaufman, all I try to do is get my kids to think for themselves and stand on their own 2 feet. But what I can't buy is their parents not allowing the kids to think for themselves.
Okay, but just be careful. Because if Dr. Garrett does decide to start any trouble, I want to make sure he's got nothing that he can build a case on.
I'm clean, officer. Honest. Now what's wrong?
I don't know. Maybe I should, choose the expression, see a doctor.
That was the second bell.
That's right.
It's not a holiday, is it?
You think I'd be here if it was?
They're not to...
What's going on? Where's everybody?
Oh, I was wondering the same thing.
Jason? Do you know where everybody is?
They went down to your street to demonstrate.
Demonstrate?
Demonstrate?
Yeah, against them knocking over your trees.
My trees? Do you know where everybody is?
They went down to...
Why didn't you go?
I ain't getting busted over no trees. In my neighborhood, we get along fine without 'em.
Well, I guess I better get over there. Miss Johnson, take over.
Okay. Okay, now if you'll please turn your book to page 141.
Come on now, I don't want to have to book you kids.
We're ready and willing to be arrested for what we believe.
Swell. Then why don't you all just go home, huh?
When you promise not to tear down these beautiful trees.
Oh, I'm not going to tear down these beautiful trees. They're going to tear down these beautiful trees. All I want you to do is let them do their job.
Don't you understand? People need trees in order to be happy.
Like, what's it going to be? You going to shift these kids or what? I'm going to... Just take it easy. You'll be able to get to work in a few minutes.
Over our dead bodies.
Oh, now, look, son, you... What are you doing, kid? Will you please get up like a gentleman?
Watch that police brutality, Sarge.
Now, get up, kid.
We're ready to testify, kid.
Now, look, son, why don't you just go home in peace? And we'll forget everything on either side, okay?
We're not going back on our commitment to the people of this street.
That's it, Sarge. Once they start talking commitment, we can be here all night.
Now, you keep this up, you know what I'm going to have to do, right? Now, toss you all in jail.
We're ready. Aren't we?
Swell, but what about me? I've got 2 kids home your age. Last night was the first night they've talked to me in 4 months, since the last demonstration. They find out about this, who knows when they'll talk to me again.
Sorry.
That's it. Start working around them.
Okay, come on, everybody. Plan B. Make it quick.
All right. One more chance, and I take you all to jail.
Heck no, they don't go.
Heck no, they don't go. Heck no, they don't go. Heck no, they don't go.
That's it, Sarge.
once they start chanting.
All right, let's move them out. All right, that's it. We're taking you away.
Okay, okay. We'll come peacefully. Come on, gang!
Wait, easy, Dick.
Hey, don't crowd. There's plenty of room for everybody.
Hey, ladies first.
I want to witness.
Officer, why are those kids being arrested?
Oh, well, we're not going to book them. Just give them a ride down to the station house and let their parents pick them up.
Hey, there's Mr. Dixon!
Hey, Mr. Dixon! Hey, Mr. Dixon! Dixon, look at us! Wait, my old man, what about this?
One of them yours?
All of them.
I'm telling you, Miss Johnson, it sure was great doing something real good.
Yes, it was. But I mean, you know you have to make up all the work you've missed.
Well, you should have seen my old man. This is the first time in his life he didn't know what to say.
And my mother actually screamed. She never does that. No, she could.
Do you know how my mother punished me? For dinner, she gave me bread and water.
Did?
Mr. Dixon's sure going to be proud of us. His name is Johnson.
Well, I don't know.
He sure did look surprised. You should have seen his face.
I can imagine.
I can't wait to hear what he says.
Yeah, well, let's take our seats. You know, Mr. Dixon said he'd just be a few minutes late.
All right, Mr. Dixon, I just wanted to tell you face to face that I'm going to use all my influence to see to it that you are removed from your teaching position here at Whitman High.
And, Doctor, I want to tell you that I'm going to use my influence to keep him right here.
Well, I haven't quite finished yet, Mr. Kaufman. I am also going to bring a civil suit against you for your responsibility for yesterday's incident in which my son was carted off to jail like a thief. I'm prepared to hear anything you have to say.
I think you've said it all, Doctor.
I must say, I expected better than that.
Well, then you're wrong.
I think anybody who turns impressionable young children against their parents doesn't deserve to teach.
I couldn't agree more.
And I think it's downright criminal for a teacher to incite pupils to break the law.
So do I.
You do?
And I think it's downright criminal for parents to try to keep their kids from thinking for themselves.
Oh, just a minute.
I've got to be honest with you, Doctor. I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't even know what's on your mind. You worried about your son? Well, he's a great kid. He's bright, and he cares. So instead of fighting me, I think you'd be doing Grady a lot more good if you try to understand him.
I'll have you know that I was doing very well with Grady until you came along. Oh, this is ridiculous.
All right. Now, isn't there some way that we can get together?
I came here because I'm a reasonable, civilized man. And I thought I'd give Dixon a chance to offer me at least one reason why I shouldn't go ahead with my plans. Well, I could have saved myself the trouble.
You forgot one thing.
Did I?
You forgot to say you haven't heard the end of this.
All right, Dixon. You haven't heard the end of this.
Congratulations. You just broke rule number 1. You were honest with a parent.
Care what you said. We did what we thought was right, and that's all there is to it.
You don't have to yell.
Who's yelling?
What is it?
I'll find out when I get home.
Just a cold supper. I hope you don't mind.
No, it's perfect.
I was late getting home. Kaufman cornered me as I was leaving.
What do you have to say? As if I didn't know.
He's worried, Pete.
Honey, Kaufman was born worried.
Well, I'm worried.
Let's forget it, okay? All I want is a nice, quiet dinner looking across the table at you.
Fine. Tell me what I look like when I'm this nervous.
I am doing the only thing I can do,
Which is?
which is to go on teaching the only way I know how.
Kaufman thinks you could have handled the doctor more diplomatically.
Do you think that I should have soft-talked Dr. Garrett?
No. I
just don't think you should have hard-talked him. I better get your supper. Just explain something to me, will you? Pete Dixon, how come you are always in trouble?
Honey, I'm just stuck with what I am.
Sometimes you sound just like a
What?
school teacher.
You know something?
Hmm?
It's about the nicest thing that you have ever said to me.
Oh, no, it's not.
Hi, Mr. Dixon.
Grady, what are you doing here?
I had to talk to you. I just had to.
What's wrong? What's on your mind?
I've finally done it.
Done what?
It's not all of a sudden either.
No.
I've given it a lot of thought.
I'm sure you
and
have.
all around,
Grady,
I've
what
decided
have
it's
you
for
done?
the best. I ran away from home.
Come on out.
My father and I had our last fight. I told him where to get off about his coming to school today.
Have you eaten?
He doesn't talk. All he does is shout and scream his old worn-out ideas. Gets personal, starts calling me names like immature, fuzzy-faced pipsqueak, stuff like that.
There's some glasses in the cupboard.
And I'm always calm and keep to the subject, like you tell us.
You say you never lose your temper,
Oh, I'm cool.
and you're always willing to discuss the subject calmly.
Absolutely.
And let's you and I discuss the possibility of your going home tonight.
What?
I think you should go home.
After everything I just told you?
You'd be a lot better off.
I can't figure you out. You met him? You know what he's like? You're telling me I should go back there?
That's right. And I can give you all the reasons why.
I'm not going home. How many times do I have to tell you I can't live in the same house with my father? He doesn't understand me. The second I open my mouth, he starts screaming. Oh, I was really going there for a second, wasn't I?
That's right. Loud and clear.
Oh, I sounded just like my father.
Don't call the police, honey. He's got to come home of his own free will. And he will. I guarantee it. He'll come walking through that door and it'll all be a lot of fuss about nothing. He's just trying to frighten us, Grace. He's trying to get back at me for that Dixon business. Dixon. Do you believe that a school teacher could cause all of this?
If I say something, Charles, will you promise not to get angry?
Of course. What is it?
Maybe it's not Mr. Dixon's fault.
Not his fault.
Please, Charles, you promised you wouldn't.
All right, all right. Go ahead.
Maybe it's us.
But it's only since he's been in that man's class that he's gotten so impossible, dear. You try to talk to him and he starts shouting.
Yes, but the fighting also started once Grady began coming home with ideas of his own.
Ideas? You call those half-baked notions of his ideas? Marriage is old-fashioned? How about that one? What about his sneering attitude toward every organization I belong? What's the matter, honey?
I don't care about any of that. I don't even care what Grady says about marriage. What I want is to keep my family together. We're losing our son, and all he can do is go on about how silly his ideas are. I don't have to agree with him. I love him.
Honey, I love him too. You know that. Why do you think I keep shouting all the time?
Well, he's only a boy. Can't we be more patient? Maybe Mr. Dixon's only treating him the way we should here in his own home.
Didn't I tell you he'd come back?
Charles.
Well,
I just want you to know, it's only because of Mr. Dixon that I'm here.
I see. Well, thank you.
Mr. Dixon, I'm Mrs. Garrett.
Hello, Mrs. Garrett. How are you?
Won't you please come in?
Yes, yes. Come in. Well, I don't know, Mr. Dixon. I guess I owe you an apology for what I said earlier today, and even more for what I've been thinking about you.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, please come in. Who knows what's going on these days? Men walking around on the moon? I certainly don't know.
It's about time you found out.
Oh, I see. I get it. It's about time I found out. You think you've been right about everything and that I've been all wrong. You didn't hear me apologize just now, did you?
I heard you.
You don't listen to me, Grady. You don't hear a word I say. Anything anybody else tells you, you believe. But your own father and mother, who really
I'm tired of that
cared...
stuff. I've had it.
Charles.
Grady. Grady, wait, please. I'm sorry for forgetting what's most important. That no matter how much we disagree, you and I love you very much. When you see what you believed in since you were a kid, being, well, you begin to wonder whether your own life had any meaning or not. And I guess it's natural to strike out at the person who's doing the changing. The young ones, you know. And who can be younger than your own son?
Dad, I guess it's easier to yell than to talk.
So, we'll talk. Okay? We'll talk plenty.
Would you like some coffee?
I'd love some. Oh, hi. Listen, I'm on my way to Kaufman's office.
You remember last night after you left me?
Yes.
I phoned you at home.
So?
You weren't there.
Right.
Where were you?
Out. Suspicious?
You might call it that.
Pete. Come in. Come in. Liz, you too.
Oh, boy, this Garrett business. I was on the phone all night with the supervisor.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me tell you about my evening.
Why, who were you with?
The doctor
Garrett?
and Grady.
What happened?
A meeting of the minds. I think everything's going to be all right.
Oh, boy. Wonderful. Isn't it strange? He sees a doctor and my headache goes away.
You know something? I feel a lot better myself.
really studied last night. No phone, no TV, nothing. My mama thought I was sick. What was Fillmore's first name, Milton or Millard? Millard, that's right. Oh, but he won't ask that anyway.
How can be so sure?
Mr. Dixon never asks anything I know. You ready? Lots you have to worry about. You always pass.
Yeah, I passed. Hey, what's in the basket? Big lunch? Oh, she's gorgeous. Oh, can I hold her?
Not so loud. I'm trying to hide her and you coming on like my grandmother. Come on.
Is that your sister?
Yeah, the babysitter didn't show up this morning. Terrific test, Mr. Dixon.
I'm glad you like it. What's in there?
What's in where?
Pam.
Mr. Dixon, it's her sister.
Dorothea.
She just followed her to school.
Okay, back to work. I want to talk to you. We'll take Dorothea with us. I want her to hear this, too. Take over, Miss Johnson.
All right. Everybody back to work. You see, my mother has a job, and the babysitter didn't show up this morning, so I didn't want to miss the exam, and I knew you wouldn't mind. Dottie's such a good baby. She doesn't cry or anything. I couldn't miss the exam.
Which reminds me,
Please, Mr. Dixon.
go back in. I'll take Dorothea down to Miss McIntyre's.
Oh, thank you.
I'll be back.
I'll take care of everything. Mr. Dixon, if she fusses, just sing to her a little bit. I gotta have a man. That's her favorite.
I'll remember that. Good morning.
Good morning.
Do I get 3 guesses?
300. You won't even come close.
You want to tell me about it?
Sarah,
What?
there's not much time left.
Time for what?
You haven't written one word. Is something wrong?
Mm-mm.
There is something wrong. Look, you can tell me. Come on. Sarah, you've got to take the exam.
Why?
Why? Because it's part of the... Oh, don't misunderstand me. I don't fully approve of the grade system, but it's the... Well, it's what you've got to... Well, you know.
No, I don't know. No, I really don't.
Sarah, what is it? I mean, you've never been in any trouble before.
I'm sorry.
No, but this week, no, you've been different. I mean, inattentive. Like, well, even a bit surly. I heard you had to go to Mr. Kaufman's office.
Twice.
Sarah, this isn't you.
Are you sure?
You're a good, average student.
Yeah, that's me, all right. Average.
Take the test. For me. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. You don't want to get an F, do you?
Last exam I got an A. Don't ask me how, just an accident. So if I get an F this time, I'll average out to a C. And that's what I am, a C student. Average.
But Sarah, you've got to. Don't make me do this.
Do what?
Send you to Mr. Kaufman's office.
Okay. You're nice. I won't make you do it. I'll just go. You do that great.
Why, thank you. I've been doing it for quite a few years.
I can see that.
Sarah, come in, please. See? What's new?
I guess you could say I walked out on an exam.
Oh, Sarah, this is, what, the third time this week you've been to see me?
Right.
And in a year and a half you've been at Walt Whitman before. You never...
I wasn't sent here once.
Right.
I guess I wanted to know you better.
What is that, sarcasm? Because it's not smart to be sarcastic, Sarah. Then I'll have to act like a principal and you're going to lose. And why can't we just be nice to each other? So you're in a little trouble. Okay, everybody's got a right to get in a little trouble once in a while. Just so we'll notice him or her. You see how understanding I can be? You don't see. All right. Time to be a principal. You walked out on an exam. Why?
I wasn't interested.
Why weren't you interested?
Because it doesn't mean anything. Not to me.
Well, not now, but someday it might.
Can you promise me that one day that history test will have any effect on my life?
Come on, Sarah, of course not. You know that, but you're not going to help yourself by walking out on it.
In other words, if I really hang in there and take my tests and pass my courses, then someday, with the right breaks, I can be her.
You're going to be who?
That machine lady out there. The human crank.
That's not funny. Kaufman. Who, Liz? Oh, you've got problems. What, now? All right. I'll be right over. We can compare problems. Take a walk. Oh, will you wait here, please? Your problem is better than mine.
Mr. Kaufman.
I know, it's my fault. I was the one that said, enjoy your vacation. Have a summer you'll always remember. Now look.
Mr. Kaufman, that's Pam Hudley's sister. Her mother works and the babysitter didn't show up, so she brought the baby to school.
Of course.
She had to. She had a big exam.
We have a rule at Walt Whitman. You've got to be at least 13. Tell you what, I will take your problem, and I want you to talk to my problem out there.
What are you doing here? Why aren't you in class?
Miss Olson has a little problem. I want Liz to talk to her.
Oh.
Where are you taking the baby?
To home economics, because it's a girl. If it were a boy, I'd take him to manual training. 3 times this week in my office. The record is 4, established in 1951. I don't want her to tie it.
Sarah, come in.
Oh, by the way, tell Pam, what's her name, after the exam she's to take the baby home. She won't be charged for the absence. Eggs.
One of the most important issues in this country has been states' rights. We've heard a lot about it lately. But what historical figure comes to mind in connection with states' rights? Jason.
John C. Calhoun.
How'd you know that?
Well, it was in last night's assignment.
Can anybody tell me something about John C. Calhoun? Sarah.
John C. who?
Didn't you read last night's assignment? Anybody?
Mr. Dixon, can I say something?
Sure.
What's the difference? I mean, what's he to me? John C.
Calhoun.
Calhoun. What's he got to do with my life? Tell me.
Okay, I'll try.
Excuse me, Mr. Dixon, but he's just something you teach. I mean, like remember Mrs. Wharton used to teach history? She taught my father. She probably taught him all about John C. Calhoun. Well, how did it help him? He's a clerk in the post office. And nobody sends letters to John C. Calhoun.
You mean it wasn't useful?
Right. Like I took Latin. You know what the homework was once? We had to make a list of 500 words beginning with a hard C. Why? Well, what for? I'm going to be out of here soon anyway, and get a job for a while, and then get married and have kids. A lot of good hard C's are going to do me.
In other words, if it doesn't help you become a wife and a mother, you're not interested, right?
Right.
What if you don't become a wife and a mother?
Oh, come on, Mr.
Okay, I take it back. You will become a wife and a mother. And John C. Calhoun won't help you cook a meal. I guess to most of you, or many of you, a lot of what we're doing here seems to be useless. But education is not useless. I wouldn't be here if I thought it was. Okay, Sarah?
Sure, Mr. Dixon.
I'd like to stay and help you work this out, but I've got to monitor the north stairwell.
The more I think about Sarah, the more I wish I had a stairwell to monitor.
Hey.
Hello, Sarah.
Mr. Dixon, Miss McIntyre.
Have a seat.
Oh, no, thank you. Mr. Dixon, I'm sorry about what happened in class today.
No need to be sorry. You had something to say, so you said it. Probably did me as much good as it did you.
Well, I don't know, but I had to say it. I guess I was hoping you'd understand.
I think I do. Would you like to take the test over again? I'd be glad to.
No, you don't understand. You don't.
Sarah, what is it that we don't understand?
I was sorry about what happened because I didn't want you to think I was being wise. But I meant what I said. History doesn't mean anything to me. Remember, Miss McIntyre, when we talked about what classes I had to take this year? Had to take. You kept saying I had to take this, I had to take that. And I kept thinking, why? Why couldn't I take something I wanted to take? Something for me.
But Sarah, there's a whole list of elective courses.
Something for me. Me. You don't know what I'm talking about.
I have a terrible feeling I've been that girl's counselor for a year and a half, and I don't even know her.
You're Lana's mother, of course. Oh, no, don't tell her to do that. No, that was because... Madam, this is not a nursery here, much as I'd love to oblige. All right. Be out the rest of the week. Yes, what? All right, now, look. Everybody, take your brothers and sisters home, please. If you have to babysit, please do it there.
Oh, Mr. Kaufman, I've never been marked absent from school.
Your fantastic record will remain unblemished, at least for today. Now, please, go home, and tell your parents no more of this. Any more back here? All right.
Well, you've always said school should play an important role in the community.
Please, don't quote me.
And that we should be more concerned about family difficulties.
Pete, you know, I hate to be quoted.
And the student's work in school has its source in the home.
Oh, boy. You have to quote me, don't you?
Well, actually, I came in here because I have a problem. Sarah Olson.
Sarah Olson? That's the only problem I haven't had all day.
I don't think you will either. She's given up on us.
Given up on us? Then what are we supposed to do for her? I've got students with big problems, F students.
And what about the C students like Sarah? The ones that get lost in the shuffle. Do we have any time for them?
Pete, you know the statistics. 2/3 of our students are C students, so-called average students. No, the fact is, I don't have time for every one of them.
Well, that's their problem. Nobody has any time for them. That's Sarah's problem. She's tired of being average. She wants more.
Well, fine. I'm all for that. Let's give her more. Tell me what it is. I'll see to it personally.
I'm not sure. That's my problem.
Well, what can I tell you? Look, you go home and think about your problem. I'll go home and think about my problem, maybe tomorrow. Or, unless you'd like to switch problems, of course.
No, thank you. I'll keep mine.
Didn't you sleep well last night? Oh, pretty well for about 40 minutes. How about you?
Slept like a log. All that talk about Sarah, and I sleep like a log.
Good morning. I've got something to show you.
What? What?
Come on, I'll show you.
What is it?
I'll tell you when you get upstairs. Take a look.
I see. It's a room. It's an empty room.
I beg your pardon.
Almost empty?
Thank you. Did you tell him yet?
Not a thing.
Good. Ladies, picture, if you will, an array of baby cribs, row on row, right here. And in those cribs, an array of ecstatic infants. Now, why, you ask, are they so ecstatic?
Why are they so ecstatic, Mr. Kaufman?
Wonderful question, Miss Johnson. Because this is theirs. All theirs.
And over here, table, paints, easels, and a sandbox.
They can draw, finger paint. They still do that, don't they? I mean, finger painting hasn't become square, has it?
Do you mean you're turning this into a nursery?
Yes. The parents need it, the students need it. I'm calling it Operation Sandpile. Operation Sandpile? You think it's too Madison Avenue?
I think it's groovy.
Oh, yes? Would you go so far as to say it's out of sight? Pete, tell them what it's going to be like.
Well, it's strictly a volunteer program. The kids who are willing to give up their free periods can work here, babysitting. Also, after school. We'll be completely outfitted. Meals, everything.
Hey, who's paying for all this?
We have enough trouble trying to get erasers.
Don't worry about it. I've already spoken to the school board. They're considering it now. They don't dare turn me down.
But you threatened to resign?
Worse, I threaten not to resign.
I think it's perfect. I think it's a great idea.
Now comes your part.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm going to need some people to staff it, and I want you to do the recruiting for me.
I've got a candidate for you.
Hi, Sarah. What do you think?
It's okay. What's it for?
It's Mr. Kaufman's idea. A nursery project for parents who can't find or afford babysitters.
It's a good idea.
Yes, it is. Surprised that a principal would think of something like this?
Sort of.
He calls it Operation Sandpile. Beginning to sound more like a principal, isn't he?
You wanted to see me?
Yeah. We're looking for girls to staff the nursery. I thought maybe you might like to volunteer.
Another elective?
No. As a matter of fact, you'd be doing it in your free periods and after school.
Oh, no thanks. I like my free periods. And when school's out, that's where I want to be. Out.
Sarah, you've been looking for something useful. Well, here it is. You want some training for being a mother? You can get it right here. You like babies. They'll be here, too.
Well, I'm not going to be a mother for a while.
Then you're going to have to get a job, right? Now, what are you going to do? Be a file clerk? A package wrapper?
I was thinking of becoming a mimeograph operator.
You could be a nursery aide. That's right. We're going to have a program for it right here. The certificate will get you a job in any nursery in town. But there's only...
Well, I'll have to get my grades up, right?
That's right. For this, average isn't good enough.
Thanks, but I don't think so. Not that you didn't do a good selling job.
Now listen. All week long, you've been doing everything you could do to get us to pay attention to you. All right, we're paying attention to you. Because you hit us with a pretty serious problem.
Look, Miss McIntyre, I don't want to fight.
Well, I do. Because we came up with an answer. But it's no good, is it, Sarah? It's a lot easier to ignore it than to try something you might really have to work at.
Okay. If you feel this strongly about it, I'll try it.
Wrong reason. Don't do it for me. Do it for yourself.
He really did a nice job of decorating, didn't they?
Yeah, look at these pretty curtains somebody made.
Not just somebody. Guess who?
Who?
Not Sarah.
No, me. Oh.
You busy?
Come in. Listen to this. Letter from a parent. Dear Mr. Kaufman, so far it's nice, right? I just want to tell you that Operation Sandpile is the best thing that Whitman High has done in years.
Oh, that's so nice.
Wrong. You've just made a very common mistake. You've been seduced by the opening paragraph of a letter from a parent. They save the zingers for the end. Wait a minute. Inspired methods, go to the community. And... Oh, here we are. Have you ever considered the value in having your students care for animals during school hours?
What?
Oh, this gets better. Listen. Have you ever considered the plight of the pussycat with a working mother?
Hey, that's a whole new program for you. You can call it, Operation Sandbox.
Oh. Hello. Delivery's down the hall at the nursery.
Pam's mother sent this.
Pam's mother? I thought she already gave.
She wanted to say thank you.
Huh? Oh. This is enough to thank an army with.
Oh, I got first dibs on the potato salad. Roger Duncan. They look more like a couple of kids than like chaperones.
Duncan's the only teacher in this school who makes Alice look mature.
Hey, what's the matter with him?
He's too groovy for his own good.
Well, maybe he tries a little too hard, but he's all right.
Tries hard? Honey, he is so in, he's out. You know what he calls me? Brother.
Thank you. Now, according to the Musicians Union and the child labor laws, the band had to take a break now. So you just have to settle for records by some inferior groups like Beatles, Stones, and other unknowns.
Now listen, about Duncan.
Let's drop it. I don't want to talk about him anymore.
Hey, who don't you want to talk about anymore?
Roger Duncan.
Oh, I think he's cute.
Cute?
The way he handles the students and everything. He never talks down to them. He always talks on their level.
He doesn't talk to them. He calls it rapping.
Still think he's cute. He reminds me of a Tiffany lamp.
I can't explain what you just said, but I think you're outnumbered.
I just don't understand what you don't like about him.
Whatever happened to the good old days when you could dislike whoever you wanted without an explanation? Let's dance.
Sure, brother.
So when's your next gig?
Well, it'll be in about another month now, you know.
Where around?
It's down that street somewhere. You make a
Hey, what's
right.
happening, Dan?
You know,
Fred?
Well, it'll be about 7:38. If you want to, you can ride up with me.
Groovy dance, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
Hey, Richie, your band is really laying down some heavy sounds. Too much.
Well, we do our best.
I used to play in a band myself. In college, it was a pretty big group.
What you play?
Oh, well, a drum.
Oh, you play drums?
No, just drum. Bass drum. The Atlantic State University marching band. You know, half times. But we played some pretty groovy numbers.
I bet you cats spelled out some pretty heavy words.
No, I'll catch you later.
You know what bugs me?
What's that?
It's for a man old enough to be my father call me Dad.
What did you want to talk to me about?
Yes. Well, you seem like a very groovy chick, my kind of people, and, well, there's this Aretha Franklin concert next weekend.
Are you asking me to go with you?
Well, I guess so. Yes, in fact, that's what I'm doing.
I appreciate the fact that you're being so straightforward about it.
I like to be upfront.
I'm sorry, Roger, but Pete and I, sort of have a thing going.
Oh, I knew you two saw each other, but I didn't know you had a thing going. Hey, I wouldn't want Pete to think I'm trying to move in on his woman.
Oh, I'm sure he won't.
Oh, I better have a talk with him anyway, man to man.
It doesn't matter, really. I don't think it's necessary.
No, it's best to be upfront.
Richie, if you ever need another singer for your group, I'm available.
I remember that. The fellows in my group got to play something, too.
Well, I have been known to play a little guitar.
The next time I schedule an audition, I'll let you know.
Hey, brother, can I see you for a minute?
Yeah, what is it, Doctor? Excuse me.
Pete, I just stepped on your turf, man. I gotta tell it like it is.
Turf? What turf?
I just asked Liz for a date. I didn't know you two had a thing going. You're not mad, are you?
Is she going out with you?
No.
Then I'm not mad.
Hey, you're beautiful. Hey, listen, maybe you know a chick you could fix me up with.
No, sorry.
Well, maybe a girl from your neighborhood. Do you have a sister?
No, I don't. But I do know a chick. Just what you're looking for. She digs you.
Really? No kidding.
You could probably take her home right after the dance.
She's here. You mean she teaches here? Oh, I got it. What's her name? The Black Studies teacher?
She's right over there.
Alice? But she's, great. Groovy, no thanks.
Anytime, brother.
What are you doing? Frisking you for pot. I know all about you musicians. I used to play drum myself.
I don't smoke pot.
Oh, come on. You can be straight with me. That's the cool part about chaperoning these gigs. Anything I find, I can keep.
I bet you really do. Wow, you're really a groovy teacher. I mean, you're the only teacher in school who's turned on and tuned in.
One more time. The opposing armies stood facing each other. Then they just fired away point blank. That's one of the reasons the British were defeated. It seems as though the American revolutionaries didn't play fair. They hid behind rocks, trees, or whatever they could find.
You mean them dudes invented guerrilla warfare?
Not exactly. It was a little trick they picked up from the Indians.
That's something the Indians live to regret.
Pete, can I talk to you a minute? I've just heard something about the dance Friday night, and if it's true, we're going to have to get chaperones for the chaperones.
What do you mean?
Our little old pot smoker, Duncan. Is it true he was asking kids for marijuana?
Oh, no. He was just joking with the kid. I don't think the kid took him serious. He's just showing off. You know how he is.
Well, that's what I thought. He's not really the type to be a hothead. I've seen him get giggly sucking on a menthol cough drop. But I'm still going to have a little talk with him for his own good. He'd be in real trouble if anybody believed him.
Not much worry about that.
Why would you tell kids that you smoke marijuana? You don't, do you?
No, I don't. Honest. If you don't believe me, you can look at my eyes.
Oh, I don't want to look in your eyes. But why would you say that to a kid?
I was just kidding. A friendly joke.
Look, these kids have plenty of friends. What they need are teachers. Teachers they can look up to.
I'm sorry if I did anything wrong. I didn't mean to.
Well, don't say it like that. You make me feel like a rat.
I'm sorry. You're just doing your job.
Look, Duncan, please, don't let this happen again. If a thing like this ever gets back to the school board or the parents, you might not only lose your job, you might find it very difficult to get another one.
Now, this is a class on government, dig? But the heaviest thing I can impress on you is that government isn't something that can't change. It changes as the times and the peoples need change. That's why it's so important for us to understand what laws are being passed. Now, just because we make a law doesn't mean it's a groovy thing. Prohibition. Man, prohibition is the classic example. It caused crime. I mean, it was against the law to take a drink. Can you dig it?
Dig it. Groovy, heavy, man. Wow.
Let's put him on. Mr. Duncan.
Yes?
Aren't we having prohibition right now?
What do you mean?
Well, it seems like the marijuana laws are the same thing.
Oh, no. You're not going to drag me into that one, man.
Why not? You said law affects us all. Why can't we discuss it? It's our right.
Well, to be really upfront, I'm in hot water with the administration right now about my liberal thinking.
About marijuana laws?
I'll plead the fifth on that one. It strikes pretty close to home.
Hey, Mr. Duncan. Are you telling us that you turn on?
I didn't say that.
I didn't think so.
Now, I didn't say I did or if I didn't. Let me put it this way. It's cool to do your own thing, but it's not always cool to talk about it. Are you hip? Now, let's get back to what we were rapping about. If a law isn't cool, what
Let me
can
have one
we
of your
do about it?
sunglass cleaner things, okay?
What are you going to do with that?
The biggest put on
No,
of
you're
all.
wrong, man. The individual...
What are you doing?
Maybe Mr. Duncan's first marijuana cigarette.
Oh, man, crazy.
First place to look. Ben, I gotta talk to you.
What's wrong?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing? You come in here shaking like a turkey on Thanksgiving and nothing's wrong.
Pete, I have a problem. Sometimes I'm just too groovy for my own good.
Is that right?
I'm in a weird position. One of my students just gave me a marijuana cigarette. Don't you want to know who?
Okay, who?
I don't know who.
Duncan. Oh, Duncan.
Well, I think I know, but I'm not sure. I just found it laying on my desk. Oh, wow. I remember when they used to give teachers an apple.
Where is it?
Well, I hid it. It's locked in my desk. Nothing like this ever happened to me before. It's a trip.
Just calm down now. Take it easy. Now, why did the student give you marijuana?
How would I know?
Get off it. There had to be a reason.
Okay, I was talking about prohibition, and the kids compared it to marijuana laws.
Duncan, you didn't say you smoked marijuana again.
Of course not. But it's possible they got that impression.
They didn't get that impression unless you gave it to them. How can you be so stupid? Mr. Kaufman just got through chewing you out for that.
No harm was done. And come on, man, we both know there's nothing wrong with marijuana.
You know that, but I don't. Besides, the kid can go to jail for 2 years for using it.
Ah, the marijuana laws are way out of line.
Tell that to a kid who's sitting in jail and see if it makes him feel any better.
Look, brother.
And you call me brother one more time and I'll... Look, you don't encourage your students to drink, do you?
No.
Or smoke cigarettes?
No.
Or take tranquilizers?
No.
Well, then it follows that you shouldn't encourage them to smoke grass.
But I didn't encourage them.
You set the example. What happens if one of them tries it because you said you tried it? Suppose he gets busted and goes to jail. How cool do you think you'll be then, Mr. Duncan? How cool?
Not very cool. Pete, what should I do?
You've got two choices. You can take that cigarette, throw it away, and forget about the whole thing. Or go to Mr. Kaufman, tell him what happened, and hope he doesn't fire you.
I hate multiple choice.
I can't tell you what to do. That's something you'll just have to work out for yourself.
Okay. I'll do it.
Do what?
I'll take the marijuana out of my desk. Then I'll either take it to Kaufman or throw it away.
Strange bookmark luck you use, Mr. Duncan. The other teacher who shares your classroom was looking for some papers in your desk and found that. Now, I want to know where you got that, and I want to know now.
I can explain it.
I hope so. Because despite the fact that you pretend to be some kind of a hippie pothead, I sort of like you. I think you're a good teacher.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. I may have to fire you.
You mean that rumor is true?
He's in Kaufman's office now.
Who's in Kaufman's office?
Mr. Duncan.
Mr. Duncan? In Mr. Kaufman's office? Why? Who'd be knocking at the door of the teacher's lounge?
Somebody who's not a teacher. Come in. It's all right, Bernie. Come on in.
Bernie, aren't you supposed to be in class now?
I ditched it. I had to find out if the rumor about Mr. Duncan is true.
Well, he's in talking to Mr. Kaufman, if that's what you mean.
It's about some marijuana, isn't it?
Marijuana? Well, he wouldn't use marijuana.
What do you know about this, Bernie?
It's not marijuana.
See?
How do you know that?
Because I put it on his desk. It's just some pencil shavings rolled up in a piece of paper. I didn't mean to get him in trouble.
Why'd you do it?
The class was putting him on. We got him talking about marijuana because we knew he tried to act cool and hip. But everybody knows he's a phony.
And you left it on his desk as part of your big put-on. You're really a gas, Bernie.
Everybody puts him on, Mr. Dixon. Even you. Remember when you put him on at the dance?
Yeah, I did. I guess I can be pretty funny, too.
Bernie, why don't you go back to class now? I'll give you a note to get in.
Boy, this is the first time I've ever been in the teacher's lounge. It sure isn't much.
There is only one way you can get off the hook. Tell me who did it.
I can't. I told you I don't know.
But you must have a pretty good idea.
I think I know. I'm not sure.
Who?
I have no proof. I can't accuse a kid who may be innocent just to get my head off the chopping block. I'm not that irresponsible.
Excuse me.
Pete, did it ever occur to you to knock on the door so I can tell you not to come in?
This the evidence?
Yes, please.
I don't think Mr. Duncan can get into too much trouble for the possession of pencil shavings.
Pencil shaving?
Pencil shavings?
They do look... How did you know?
The kid who left it on his desk told me. It was a put-on, a practical joke.
A joke?
Oh, boy, some joke. Well, I guess that clears that up. Duncan, I hope I don't have to say stop this nonsense or that's going to be it.
Can I go now?
Yes. Now, which kid did it? He's going to spend the rest of his life in detention.
Don't punish the kid. I did it to myself.
What's the matter with him? Sounds like he wished it was marijuana.
In a way, I think he did. You want to talk about it?
The whole class was in on it. They set me up. The kids saw it. And I didn't realize it till right now. But I'm a phony.
Sometimes you come on like one.
Wow, I am a phony.
You don't have to be. You have an option. You can be honest. Not up front, not telling it like it is. Just honest.
Can't go back to that classroom.
Those kids aren't putting you down.
Well, they're not, huh?
They're putting down that character you've been playing, Mr. Hip, the one who they don't like. Give it a try. You can be pretty understanding if you give him a chance.
Have you ever been in a position like this?
No.
Then how do you know what it's like?
Duncan.
Just quit following me, will you? I'd like to be able to go where I'm going by myself.
So you're going?
I don't know.
Good morning. Would you please take your seats? I think most of you know me. I'm Mr. Dixon. A substitute teacher is coming, so I'll only be here a few minutes.
Where's Mr. Duncan?
He won't be here today. Look, I think there's something I should talk to all of you about.
Why isn't Mr. Duncan here? They didn't fire him, did they?
No, they didn't.
We all feel bad about what happened.
Well, I think there's something you should know. Mr. Duncan could have gotten himself off the hook by telling which student was responsible for that little joke. He had an idea, but he didn't want to get anybody in trouble. He didn't even mention the fact that all of you had something to do with it.
I'll handle it from here on, Mr. Dixon. I decided I wasn't sick after all. I just had a case of the 24-hour cold feet. Hey, that was supposed to be a joke. I'm trying to show you I could put myself on, too.
I'm glad you're back.
You were telling the kids what a hero I am. Well, I want to set that straight. I wasn't being heroic or noble. I wasn't sure who gave me the stuff, and that's why I didn't name anyone. If I had known, I don't know what I might have done. Now, Pete, if you don't mind, wish you'd get out of here. I'd like to get this class started.
Take care.
You all made one very serious mistake yesterday. You know what that mistake was? You should have stuck around to catch the expression on my face when I found that thing. When I saw that, I almost died of terminal fear. I just knew that 96 policemen were going to bust in that door any second.
Do you really think he's changed?
Well, his students seem to have a lot more respect for him. He hasn't called me brother all week.
Are you talking about Duncan?
He's been a different person lately.
I wonder if he's different or if he's just gone underground. His copy of You Gotta Have Soul is 3 weeks overdue at the library.
Hey, here's an item of interest. Remember that time when a lot of people were smoking banana peelings?
You know, what are they smoking now, apple cores?
No. Pencil shavings.
was saying, you remember when they were saying, oh, don't worry, you won't have any problems when we get the supply system on the computer.
Yeah?
We've been trying to get new gym suits for the last 4 months. Every time we order, they send us 4 dozen medicine balls. We have more medicine balls per student than any other high school in the world. And
fewer gym suits.
Right.
Oh, since we're on the subject of supplies, I need some newer history books. The last chapter's got World War II down as a toss-up.
Medicine balls? History books? You two guys really got it rough.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing. I just spent the morning with a screaming 15-year-old and 2 juvenile delinquents, that's all.
Where's Mrs. McIntyre?
What is that?
I don't even want to know.
Well, let's see. It's not elk mating season. What does that leave? Army roll call or the bellow of a wounded parent?
Hey! Where's this Mrs. McIntyre?
Finish your lunch. I'll take care.
No, thanks. I can do it. It's just part of a perfect day. May I help you? I'm Miss McIntyre.
It's about my Sharon. You know they're still waiting for you up in your office if I hadn't come looking for...
Excuse me. Which Sharon?
My Sharon. Sharon Stops. I'm her old man.
Oh. Well, Mr. Stops, if you don't mind, could we talk about this a little later? I was just starting my lunch.
Look, I gotta get back to work. I'm on my lunch hour too, you know. Let's go. I got a mother here. We're all waiting for you. Come on. Mrs. McIntyre.
It's Miss.
Yeah, well, I can tell by just looking at you that you're a very smart girl, but I gotta tell you, for a smart girl, you sure did a dumb thing.
Oh? What did I do?
You put my little girl in the wrong major. I mean, this general thing is all wrong.
But that's what she wanted.
No, she needs college prep. With that general major thing, she can't go to college.
The point is, she doesn't want to go to college.
She wants to go. She just doesn't know it yet.
Have you ever thought about reshaping your eyebrows?
No, as a matter of fact, I haven't.
You should listen to her. She knows a lot about makeup and hair. Well, you should see what she's done for some of her girlfriends.
With reshaped eyebrows, a little more makeup, and a new hairstyle, you could be a completely different person.
Who could I be?
Well, you could be you, only different.
You think I'm pushy?
Is something happening?
Sure I'm pushy, but you gotta be if you want to sell tires. Is that your office?
Yeah.
Let's go, girls. What are you doing, looking for a file? Just give me the form and I'll sign it.
What form?
I know how all your government places work. You got forms for everything. You gotta have a blue copy and a pink copy, but it's only paper. So let's change the paper.
I can do that. But what about Sharon's feelings? She says she has absolutely no interest in going to college. Maybe I'm wrong. Are you interested in going to college?
Yes.
Tell her what kind of college you want to go to.
Beauty college.
That's no college. I'm talking about a place where you learn more than about it. After college.
By the way, Mr. Stops, there's no urgency.
I'm on my lunch hour.
Decision is final.
Look, you're the expert. Tell me what you think. This girl, college material or isn't she?
Sharon gets pretty good grades. She probably could make it if she tried a little harder. But there are a lot of other factors that you're not...
Come on, don't hedge on me.
I don't want to go to college. I want to be a hairstylist. Can anybody hear me?
I hear you, Sharon.
This lady's your counselor.
Listening.
All right, McIntyre, go ahead. She's listening.
Sharon, we've talked about this before. If you stay in the general major, you won't be able to get into a 4-year college. Now, it's much better to leave the door open now, because if you change your mind later on, it's going to cost a lot of time and a lot of money.
I know what I want.
See? See how she listens? Tell me, what would it take for her to get into college?
All she'd need are 2 sciences and a language.
All?
Sure. Go ahead and change her program.
Wait a minute, Mr. Stops. I don't want to do anything unless Sharon agrees.
Look, we're her parents, and we want her to go to college. You gonna change your program now?
Sharon, it is possible you change your mind later on and decide to go to college. I don't like doing this if you don't want it. But why don't you give college prep a try?
I told you you're a smart girl, McIntyre.
Thanks a lot, Miss McIntyre.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Oh, hi, Sharon. Hi. What are you doing in here? Oh, I just wanted to finish this comb out, Miss Johnson, and I knew 222 was empty this period. Please let me stay. Okay, thanks.
You really do that great.
Thank you.
You know, you've been in class 3 weeks and you never looked the same way twice. I meant that as a compliment.
Would you mind if I just tried to do a little change right around your eyebrows?
Well, oh, I guess not.
You know, with your facial shape and bone structure, you could carry some more makeup.
I could?
Mm-hmm. Tell me, Miss Johnson, have you ever wondered what you might look like as a blonde?
No, not really. Well, to be perfectly truthful, one time I did think about it.
You did?
Notice any difference, Mr. Kaufman?
Hey, Kevin, your voice is still the same. What happened to you?
The Sharon Stops treatment.
I hope it isn't contagious. What's Sharon Stops?
She's a student. As a matter of fact, I was wondering, in view of the student-faculty relationship, if ethically maybe I should pay the girl.
Oh, no, Miss Johnson. Ethically, I wouldn't pay her for that.
Have you seen Alice recently?
Why?
Well, I won't spoil it for you. Listen, you know when I'm wrong about something, I'm the first to admit it.
Who are you wrong about?
Sharon Stops.
I was wrong.
No, she's doing great in my class. And I've got to agree with you. I think she could make it in college.
I'm glad she's doing well somewhere.
What's wrong?
Unsatisfactory notices and one out-and-out flunk. All in Sharon's new classes.
Well, how'd she do before?
And the general major? About a B- average.
Any failures?
Not one. Tell you anything? Lamb shanks! Oh, I've been waiting weeks for lamb shanks.
That's nice. They've been waiting weeks for you, too.
Oh, nonsense. They're delicious. Lamb shanks, please.
Hey, McIntyre! McIntyre!
Bye, lamb shanks.
My girl is flunking. Tell me why.
This is idiotic. Ask her.
If she knew anything, she wouldn't be flunking. Besides, you're the expert.
No. She's the expert. I can only speculate.
Speculate.
Look, 4 new courses is a lot to handle.
Too big a change, you mean, or what?
She's got more work to do, and there's much more competition among the kids.
More work. All I got to say to you, Miss McIntyre, is 7 to 10.
And what does that mean?
Those are the hours she's going to be studying every night. All right, Saturday's off. But those grades come up, you hear me? I don't need these. Think a thing out and you can fix anything. Thanks a lot, McIntyre. Tonight, 7 sharp. You hear me?
Daddy, the whole world can hear you. He never listens. Only talks. How can a man like that know anything?
Sharon.
Why do I have to be in this mess anyway? I don't want to go to college. I never did. At least before I was going to graduate. Now I could flunk right out of high school.
Sharon, listen to me.
Why should I listen to you? All you do is take orders from my father. Do you know what you're doing, Miss McIntyre? You're ruining my life. My whole life.
Lunch?
No, Alice, not right now, no.
Well, I'll be right outside here, okay?
Don't let me keep you, huh?
Don't worry about it. The general major was no real challenge to you, was it? I mean, you just kind of loafed your way through. And now with college prep, well, for the first time you have to produce. Sharon, are these a cop-out?
What makes you say that? I mean, what do you know about me anyway?
Not enough, obviously.
Obviously. Thanks again, Miss McIntyre.
Alice. It's wrong, isn't it?
Well, it's,
Well, you see, it started with an eyebrow, and, well, one thing led to another.
I don't get it.
Well, didn't she tell you?
Who?
Sharon Stops.
You mean she did that?
Sure, it's her wig and everything. You know, people are really looking at me differently.
Well, I bet they are. But you know, I'm really impressed.
Except, don't you think it's a little far out? You know, that Mr. Graham asked me out to have a martini with him.
But still, if she has that kind of ability, I wonder how serious she really is about it. You know, it could make all the difference in the world. Hi.
If you're looking for Mr. Schneider, he's in his office.
Well, as a matter of fact, I was looking for you. You got a minute?
Minute? I may be here forever.
What's the matter?
He says I stay here till I get it right. Anyway, what is it now?
Sharon, this thing about being a beauty operator.
I told you. How many times do I have to tell you?
But how do you know that's what you really want?
Look, I work on my girlfriends all the time, and I love that.
But that's not professionally. Now, if I
You mean in a beauty shop? A real beauty shop?
Would you be interested?
Are you kidding?
All right, then. Do you know what an apprentice shampoo girl is?
Yes.
Well, there's a shop that needs one. Now, all you do is learn how to wash hair. But you'd be working with people, and you'd be on the inside.
It'll get me out of this mess. I'd sweep the floors even.
Now, I didn't say anything about dropping any...
Beauty shop? Who needs this chemistry? Miss McIntyre, I don't like this college prep.
Sharon, if it's wrong for you, I'll get you out of it, believe me. But first, I have to be convinced. And incidentally, so does your father.
Yeah, well, I'm already convinced. Do you think I can ever prove anything to my father?
Well, you're 2 bites late, Mr. Stops, but I'll say this. You're good for my figure.
Look, I got a business to keep going. I can't keep running up here all the time.
That's fine, Mr. Stops, because Miss McIntyre has enough to do without your running over here.
What do you know?
Well, we've been talking about it.
What? You need advice now? Who is this guy, anyway?
Pete Dixon.
Oh, Dixon. My Sharon likes you. You can stay.
Thank you.
You ask if I needed advice, Mr. Stops. Well, I'll take all the advice I can get for something as important as this.
Then what about my advice? I raised this girl. When it comes to Sharon Stops, I have put in 16 years of study. Can either of you match that?
No. But Miss McIntyre can bring something to the situation that you can't. Objectivity.
maybe I don't need it.
What's the point, Mr. Stops?
The point is, you want to give her advice, that you get paid for. Getting her jobs, I don't go for that.
Why?
Because I decide those things.
Sharon doesn't have a voice in this, huh?
At her age, what does she know?
That's the point, Mr. Stops. She doesn't know. I thought the job would help Sharon decide what she wants out of life.
You mean today? Or tomorrow? Or the next day? The answers are all different, you know. She changes her mind like her hair color, that kid. Somebody has got to tell her what to do.
You're really that sure you're right, huh?
Yeah.
Then the job should prove it, don't you think?
I think it's a waste of time.
Well, I think it's important. Very important.
Then one of us has got to be wrong.
Careful, dear. I have very sensitive hair. Oh, I wish I had hair like yours again.
You can. It's a wig.
You know, it's getting to the point where you can't count on anything anymore. Take string beans, for example. Up 7 cents a pound last week alone.
Well, of course you'd say that. It just doesn't look like me, that's all there is to it.
I think it looks fine. Very chic.
You do. Well, we'll see about that. You, take a look at this and tell me what you think.
I think it looks great.
You do.
It's like that everywhere these days.
Just a kid. What does she know?
It's just string beans.
Okay,
The one thing.
I'll recomb
it if you Christ.
No, I'm late now. I'll just have to live with it.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
No sorrier than me.
Your operator will be right with you.
Well, they're not all that way. Of course, all it takes is one of those a week, you know.
You think she'll be back?
Oh, yes, and she'll ask for me.
Well, like around school. All my friends really dug the way I did their hair. But I didn't charge them. It was all for free. But boy, when you do something for people for money, do they ever get fussy? I mean, every single little thing has to be their way. So I quit.
You what?
Listen, it takes 1,600 hours of schooling just to get your license. And the courses, little creepy things like facial muscles and nerves. It's even more boring than Chemistry 1.
I'm saying nothing.
Well, beauty shop's out, college prep's out. Now what?
Look, I'm only 16. Why does my whole future have to be decided now? You think this is easy for me?
I know it isn't, Sharon. That's why I'm here.
I'll tell you what you ought to do.
No, you won't.
You know so much, Miss Smarty Pants. Tell us what you're going to do with your life.
I said I don't know yet. I need time to think.
Like 10 years? Tell her about the horse.
Not a horse, Father, a pony.
One Sunday, I take her to ride the ponies. Well, she wasn't going to do it. So I put her on. And what does she do? Fall off. Cry? You should have heard the fuss. So I think, have you made a mistake? And I say, Arnold, you better find out. Well, the kid wasn't hurt, so I put her back on it. What have you got trophies? Not just trophies. Ribbons, decorations. She's got a good seat. You know what that means?
Daddy, horses and college aren't the same thing.
Yeah, but I know you, and I know what's best for you. And I don't think she does.
Yeah, but she listens to me. She lets me try things.
Sure, she'd like to try something, the beauty salon. And you quit, which shows you it was a waste of time, right?
It was not a waste of time, Mr. Stops. Not if she learned something.
You made a mistake. That's learning.
You better believe it. Look, Sharon has to live her own life and find out what she wants for herself.
You think so? Tell her about the broccoli.
Oh, no, not the broccoli again.
Wouldn't touch it. Decided to hate it. I made her try it. Now she loves it.
You're doing it again, Mr. Stops.
What?
You're smothering her.
Me?
Yes, you. If you keep it up, you're going to drive your daughter away from you.
What do you mean?
I mean she has a mind of her own. Why don't you recognize that fact?
What am I doing so wrong?
You're bullying her. You're keeping Sharon from making her own decisions and her own mistakes. You know, one of these days you're going to put her on that pony and she's going to get off and stay off because it just isn't what she wants.
She's right, Daddy.
I only want what's best for you.
I know that.
Come on now. Who really knows what's best for his little girl?
I do. From now on, I'm going to tell me what to do. You're not going to tell me what to do anymore.
All right. All right. So tell me, you want college or not?
I haven't made up my mind yet. Okay.
Okay, what?
I've made up my mind. I want college.
Just like that.
I know my little girl, McIntyre.
Well, this isn't over yet. There's a small matter of grades, remember? Sharon's schoolwork is still below par.
I guess I'll just have to work a little bit harder.
What do you mean, guess? Come on. Let's go home and put you back to work. Like when you fell off the horse, your old man's gonna put you back up there again.
Daddy.
All right. Help put you back up there again.
Okay.
No hard feelings, right, McIntyre?
Don't mention it, folks. No trouble at all.
Oh, Pete! You can send a couple of students down to the supply room to pick up your new history textbooks.
Well, thank you, Mr. Kaufman.
No, don't thank me. Thank the computer. I asked for 400 bars of soap. They sent me 200 history textbooks. See you tomorrow.
Okay, goodbye.
There goes Mr. Graham. He hasn't asked me to have a martini with him since I took off Sharon's wig.
How's Sharon doing in her new classes anyway?
Well, I don't know if she's going to make it yet, but she sure is trying a lot harder.
She doesn't seem so interested in all that beauty stuff. She hasn't mentioned my eyebrows in a month.
Are you sorry you're not still a blonde?
You know, you did have a certain something there.
Yeah, sure did. Somebody called it false advertising.
see me?
Yes, you remember Louis Hensler?
Louis Hensler.
Yeah, you know the theory that there's no such thing as a bad boy? He was the exception that proved the rule.
Oh, yeah. You just transferred him to John Adams when he told Mr. Yarnell he'd get him if Yarnell didn't give him a 70 in science. Sure.
That's Louis.
So how's he doing at Adams?
Oh, he's become much more ambitious now. Over there, he's threatening teachers for 85. But today, John Adams strikes back.
They're essaying one of their students over here.
A tiger named Dennis Joplin. I don't know, baseball teams trade outfielders for pitchers. We trade hard-hitting delinquents for fleet-footed absentees.
So why do you want me here?
Because I am assigning Dennis Joplin to your homeroom.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Besides, with a record like that, I'd be afraid to meet him alone.
Mr. Kaufman, Dennis Joplin is here to see you.
Oh, thank you, Bonnie. Send him in, please.
Dennis?
Come in, Dennis. This is Mr. Dixon. He's going to be your homeroom teacher.
How do you do, sir?
Hello, Dennis. How are you?
And pleased to meet you, sir.
Yes. Now, Dennis, you were sent here, you know, because everybody felt that a fresh start with a clean slate would do you good. Well, before we get into any clean slates, let's talk about this filthy slate right here.
Guess my record's pretty bad.
Well, you know, getting essayed out of a school is a very serious business. I hope you understand this can be your last chance, and...
I'm going to make the most of it.
And I was going to suggest that you'd better make the most of it.
Mr. Kaufman, I'm not really as bad as what's on there.
You mean your permanent record isn't true?
Well, it's a little exaggerated. Would you like to hear my side?
Go ahead.
Well, at Adams, there are a few of the older teachers who really don't know what us kids are all about. This one teacher is really bad news. Now, here's the one really lousy thing I did. This teacher has a hearing aid, and one day in class, I got the rest of the kids to make her think their hearing aid was broken. One kid would stand up and say, "May I leave the room?" Another kid would say, "Can I please close the window?" And then the rest of us would go, bzzz, like that. And, well, she kept hitting her chest. She thought the mechanism had gone haywire. Well, she ended up running out of the room. Next day, I told her how sorry I was. But from that day on, I was finished at Adams.
What do you mean?
Well, no matter what, that teacher was going to get even. I sure deserved to get punished, but, well, a lot of that stuff just isn't true. And she stopped me from running for class president and had me kicked off the basketball team. You know, I would have started if it hadn't been for her.
You must be pretty good. Adams had a tough team last year.
Morning, Mr. Dixon.
Oh, hi, Richie. Richie, this is Dennis Joplin, who's transferring from Adams. Basketball player. Richie here is the manager of our team.
Hi, Richie.
Hi. We can sure use you because our 5 starters graduated last year.
Just go on then, Miss McIntyre. I'll take care of you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Dixon. You know, I think I'm going to like it here. See you later, Richie.
All right. Mr. Dixon, you have any connection in the music world? See, me and a bunch of the kids been planning to go to the Rolling Stones concert Friday night. And now we can't get tickets because they've been sold out for a month.
Sorry, Richie. I wish I could help.
Not exactly Phi Beta Kappa, huh?
Well, up until long division, you were doing fine.
That's no joke. When I was a kid, I was good in school. But then...
Then what?
Then Mom and Dad started to fight. Well, he wasn't around very much. Mom had to go to work in a drive-in. That left me and Angie, that's my kid sister, kind of on our own.
What's your father doing now?
Now, the thing is, Miss McIntyre, those grades are mine. I know what you're getting at, but my home life wasn't any worse than a lot of kids.
That's true. But it never hurts to understand the reasons behind the student's record.
Well, okay. About 3 years ago, my dad went to see a movie, and he never came back.
Did you ever try to tell any of your teachers at Adams about all this?
No.
Why?
Well, like I said, I didn't want them to think I was making up excuses. I don't want you to think that either.
Why, it's awful.
You know, that boy was railroaded out of Adams by a vindictive teacher. It's just terrible.
Well, he sure got a lot of bad breaks that nobody at Adams seemed to take into consideration.
Now, wait a minute, you two. George O'Neill, the principal over there, is a very fair man. A kid would practically have to pillage and burn 2 continents before George would essay him out.
Yes, but if he took that teacher's word for it, what chance does the kid have? You know, I'm still young enough to remember what it's like.
What does that make me, Whistler's mother?
Miss Johnson, as a future teacher, whose word would you suggest we take, the students or the teachers?
Well, I don't know, but even a criminal is innocent until proven guilty. But if a teacher accuses a kid of something, that's it. Anyway, I'm just filled with righteous indignation.
Well, it's a change from your usual bubbling with enthusiasm.
Look, Dennis was condemned to Walt Whitman, not the state penitentiary.
I still think that principal was unfair.
George does his best. None of us has the time to do the job we'd like to do.
Amen. I'll drink to that.
As long as it isn't get the principal week.
Oh, of course not. And to prove it, you can have my pickle.
I don't want your... Well. Thank you.
Hey, Dennis! Me? Yeah, come on over. How you doing? This here's Helen. She don't say much, but she's a real swinger.
Don't listen to him.
Hi, Helen.
Dennis just transferred over here. He's gonna play basketball for us.
Out of sight.
I quit. Bernie keeps on giving me the elbow. Why don't you quit shoving? Why don't you find yourself another victim?
Oh, wow.
Come on, Rich. We need a 6-man.
Not me. I got a split. Hey, this guy will play.
Okay. Come on.
No, I better not.
Oh, go ahead, Dennis. Show this dude how the game is really played.
Will you come on? The period's almost over.
Thanks, but I got slippery shoes.
What do you think I've got?
Well, I get all sweaty. No kidding, I'd better not.
Is this guy putting me on?
Go ahead, Dennis. You don't have to play hard with these guys.
I'd like to see you play, Dennis.
Come on, it's only for 10 points. Yo, you hurry up. Don't ruin the game for us.
Okay, but I'm gonna take it easy.
Now, you with this guy here and this guy over here, okay? Come on, we'll take it out.
See you later, Dennis.
All right, let's go.
I wasn't ready. I didn't even know it started yet. What do you want, an engraved invitation?
Okay, look, now we're ready to play basketball. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, man, what did I do to deserve this?
Well, I told you I had slippery shoes.
I think your head's slippery. What's wrong?
Oh, my ankle, I twisted it. It's the same one I hurt last year.
Doing what? Putting on your socks?
I've had it, guys. I'm sorry.
We would have done better 2 against 3.
Oh,
Where's
man.
Rich find that guy? Hey, Phil, come on in. Yeah, come on, man.
Dennis, you okay?
I'm fine.
I was worried the way you're limping.
Yeah, it's an old injury. Lucky for me, it snapped right back. I heard it in the game I scored 34 points.
Well, Bernie and the others shouldn't have acted that way.
Well, a varsity player shouldn't get mixed up in a playground game with guys like that. Throws your whole style off.
The only time the whole year the Rolling Stones are here, and we gotta miss it.
Richie said we'll get the tickets, sure.
No, man, I can't help it. Tried everywhere. They all sold out.
Hi.
Oh, how'd the game turn out?
Not so good.
Sprained my ankle.
Any luck on the tickets yet?
No. This is the biggest disappointment of my life, too. Say, why weren't you born rich and famous?
Because I'm handsome, witty, charming. You can't have everything.
Willie Brown could help us out if he was still around.
Who's Willie Brown?
This dude who lived on my street, he can get into anything. The Academy Award, the Rose Bowl. He could sneak in a Ku Klux Klan meet people for getting in food.
Where's he now?
Well, old Willie found a way to get into the Army, and I don't think he found a way to get out.
Well, unless somebody comes up with a big, brilliant idea soon, we've had it.
You guys talking about the Rolling Stones concert Friday night? The one at McCracken Hall? I got a ticket.
You what?
Yeah, I got a ticket to the Stones concert. Why? What's the hassle?
We've been trying to get tickets for days.
Where'd you get a ticket?
Hey, I'll trade you Richie for it.
Well, I see my dad is best friends with Mick Jagger's father.
You mean that English dude?
Yeah, they met during the war. They were on the same ship on D-Day. Actually, my old man saved Mr. Jagger's life.
How did he do that?
Well, who cares? Can you get any more tickets?
Yeah, I can get all the tickets you want.
Wow, would you get some for us?
Tickets.
I'll get them and you pay me back, okay?
Got your ticket?
Hi, Wilt. You should see this cat play basketball. Never in my life I seen such...
He's getting us all tickets to the Rolling Stones tomorrow night.
Like I said, never in my life I seen such... slippery shoes. What about me? Can you give me a couple tickets? What do you say?
Anything.
Hey, look, let's all go together. Come on.
Peter Jordan, we can all go.
Okay,
then we can. Did you really did it?
Did it? You all right?
But the Bill of Rights says that a citizen should be allowed to own firearms.
Yeah, because in those days there was a standing militia, and people needed guns to fight the Indians.
Well, don't you feel that a man should have the right to defend his own home?
I thought that's what the police are supposed to get paid for.
That's true, but the police can't be everywhere.
More people got guns, more people get shot.
How do you feel about that, Richie?
What? Sorry, Mrs. Dixon, I wasn't paying any attention. Guess I'm a little excited.
What about?
Well, a bunch of us kids got tickets to the Rolling Stones concert tomorrow night.
How'd you manage that?
Well, Dennis got them for us.
Good. Oh, Dennis, I want to see you after class for a second.
Mr. Dixon, you want 2 tickets?
You wanted to see me?
Sit down. You're actually getting tickets to the concert for all those kids?
That's right.
You mind telling me how?
Well, my Uncle Max is manager at McCracken Hall. He gets me tickets to whatever goes on there.
Dennis, you know how much Richie and the others are looking forward to seeing the Stones.
Are you kidding? It nearly blew their minds when I told them I could get them in.
Then you know how bugged they'd be if something should happen and they couldn't make it.
Well, what could happen? Listen, I can get 50 tickets if I wanted them. You wanted to go, Mr. Dixon? I can get you a couple tickets, too.
No, thank you.
Well, listen, I got bio next. I don't want to be late. Excuse me. Hey, let me know if you want a couple for tomorrow night. It's no problem. See you later.
I've been talking to George O'Neill for 3/4 of an hour. I haven't been on the phone that long since I tried to convince Myrna Needland to go to the senior prom with me.
It must have been an interesting conversation.
Fascinating. A, Dennis never had a woman teacher who used a hearing aid. B, he does not have a sister. And C, his father's a very successful chiropractor who lives at home. He lied from beginning to end.
I was afraid of that when I saw he couldn't play basketball.
George said he lied about absences, about being excused from exams. He even lied about his name. He called himself Fred Spicer.
Well, wasn't he sent to a school psychologist?
Mm-hmm. Within 2 months, the school psychologist said Fred Spicer is completely cured.
He even fooled a psychologist.
Yeah, but you can't fool the kids. In a little while, the whole school knew about Dennis. He didn't have a single friend. George kept switching him from class to class, but Dennis kept digging himself into one hole after another.
How long has Dennis been at Whitman?
2 days. Why?
He just dug himself into another hole.
Joe, I keep telling you, I don't have anything, not one single thing for tonight. No, we're all sold out. Well, I can give you 2 for Saturday. You got them. I think you're next.
I'm Dennis Joplin.
I'm very happy for you.
I've come to pick up those 14 tickets I ordered for the Rolling Stones concert tonight.
Joplin? Joplin. I'll check my file.
Oh, come on now, not again.
What do you mean?
The last time it was a Beatles concert. I had to wait over an hour before you could find them.
Well, I see. When did you order these tickets?
About a month ago. I called back last week to make sure you had them.
Joplin. You called back last week?
I sure did. I called and whoever I spoke to said you had them ready and waiting. So somebody goofed.
I'm sorry about this mix-up.
That's okay, as long as I get the tickets.
Was it a lady's voice?
Yeah. Now that I think about it, it was a lady I spoke to.
That's funny, because no lady works here.
But
no lady has ever worked here.
Why?
You better beat it, kid.
Who wants a peanut butter and jelly?
I'll trade you for my tuna fish and banana.
Tuna fish and banana. So that's how your hair got like that.
Hey, Richie. How come Dennis wasn't in school this morning?
Oh, he probably had to go pick up the tickets. Anyway, how come you're always thinking somebody's trying to put something over on you, Jason?
'Cause most of the time they are.
Oh, good morning, Dennis. You're a little late, aren't you?
Something important came up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a real bummer. I had the tickets, but I lost them.
What happened?
Well, I was leaving McCracken Hall with 14 tickets. Pretty good seats, too. Now, who do you think I see standing in line? The minister from my church. Now, you see, he'd promised these kids from an orphanage that he'd take them to the concert, and, oh, what could I do? I gave them the tickets.
Well, it was very nice of you.
Yeah, but how am I going to explain to Richie and them? You can't get tickets anywhere.
Tell them about your minister.
Mr. Dixon, could you tell them? I mean, coming from you, they believe it.
No.
Why?
Because it isn't true.
What's that supposed to mean?
Dennis, I saw you play basketball.
Oh. So I'm not a hotshot basketball player. Is that a crime?
Look, nobody cares how well you play basketball. What matters is that you felt you had to lie about it.
Well, everybody brags a little sometimes.
Sure. But everybody doesn't make up stories about hard of hearing teachers that don't exist.
Sure had you and Mr. Coughlin fooled, didn't I?
And everybody doesn't lie about their parents to excuse his bad grades.
You have the FBI checking up on me?
And they don't lie about being able to get tickets to a concert that's already sold out.
That was a mistake. No kidding. I just opened my mouth and the words came out.
It was a lie.
I didn't mean it.
But it was a lie, wasn't it, Dennis?
Maybe. But who does lie? I mean, after all, what's a credibility gap if it isn't a fancy name for a lie? And how about all those guys on TV that say use this stuff and they have all the girls chasing after you?
Oh, sure. There's a lot of dishonesty around. Too much. And that's one reason why we've got to be straight with each other.
Yeah, I guess so.
And another reason, Dennis, is that making up stories about ourselves does not change who we really are.
What do you mean?
Isn't that why you lie? To make people think you're something you're not? To make people like you?
Is that what I do? Sure doesn't help. You know what, Adams? I didn't have one single friend.
That's understandable. Nobody knows who you really are.
Maybe they wouldn't like me if they did.
Maybe. Maybe they would.
Quit it.
Quit what?
Giving me those Jason Allen looks. I didn't promise to get the tickets.
No, but your pal did.
Wow. Hey, the man of the hour. My ticket broker.
Hey, where are our seats?
Listen. What I got to say is a little hard.
Well, I don't care. I'll sit anywhere.
Is something wrong?
I don't have the tickets. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
They're waiting at the box office.
No, I just don't have them. I messed up. It's all my fault. That's just the way I am.
What happened?
Couldn't you get the tickets?
You didn't get the tickets, Dennis?
Well, yeah, I got them all right. 14 tickets, just a little left to center. Great seats. Well, but see, on the bus, when I was coming to school, well, who do you think I run into? All my lousy luck. It's a minister from my church, and he tells me about this orphan's home, and... No, it's all a lie. There never were any tickets. My father's never even heard of Mick Jagger.
Why, Dennis? Why'd you do it?
I don't know. Just wanted y'all to like me.
Man, you're nuts. You know that? Hey, Dennis. See you Monday.
How'd you two spend your weekend?
We went to a terrible party Friday night.
It was a beautiful party.
Mm-hmm. Then you spend Saturday and Sunday arguing about it, right?
Good morning. Hey, how was the Rolling Stones concert Friday night?
Well, as a matter of fact...
Dennis came through, didn't he? I knew it. Was it really wild? I mean, tell me about it.
Well, I think it was definitely a musical breakthrough.
You were there, too?
Was he there? He performed.
Mr. Kaufman played with the Rolling Stones, huh?
He sang.
Sang! You sing!
Oh, I've been known to belt a few slurred, raspy solos.
Slurred, raspy solos. Slurred, raspy solos. You thought you were putting me on, huh? Oh. I was putting you on. I was. No, you think that I believe that he would sing with the Rolling Stones? No, I'm no, but I'm not back. I mean, no,